Hey, what's up everyone? DJ Sterf here. I want to go through some UI suggestions and I'll go screen by screen. I really think this game could be made to be something really cool. I think the work in porting it was good, but at the same time, some of the controls are so small, so difficult, as well as the main gameplay. You can hit one area on the screen and trigger 4 things at the same time, even though you just wanted one. So I'll go through some suggestions on that, and yeah, let's go. I mean, I don't know if anyone's going to actually take this, but hopefully this will be a help to anyone who actually watches it. And if you're just getting into engineering or something like that, maybe I could pique some interest, or get you thinking about UI design and functionality and ergonomics and that type of thing. All right, so Chica right here I've selected, and I want to change Chica's AI. Well, one thing I note here is that Chica has a really long description and it overlaps the up arrow object. Okay, so that's one thing that needs to be altered, but if I want to go up to 20, ready, go. 1, 2, 3. It's like 3 seconds to adjust. And if you want to turn this to 0 right here, turn that AI to 0. So I set all to 20 now, and I don't want Phantom BB. It's going to take me 3 seconds to get rid of Phantom BB. So all these minor adjustments and all that, it would be great if it were easier and quicker. And maybe one suggestion is, instead of using this object right here, make it more like slider type object. You could use the slider object, and then this would be 20 over here and this would be 0. Another thing, you could do a long click on this. So if you click and hold on this and then it turns it off, then it goes to 0. All right, that's a possibility. Well, what about this too? You have over here, you see the 0, 1, 5, 10, and 20 thing here? It would be nice to have something kind of like that. Maybe I would do this instead. So have an option here for 0, 5, 10, 15, and 20. That would be great. And then maybe just have a slider object and a preset, that type of thing. You could still have the up and down arrow, but at the same time, like, it takes forever to adjust, and that's just a little bit annoying. I know mobile can be limited, but you can innovate as you are able. It is code. All right. So that would be one suggestion there. It would save a lot of time. The long click and then turning the character off would be nice. And then if the character's off and you hold it, long click, then it would turn to 20. That would be kind of cool as well. One thing here, if you go to settings, all right, it's going to go there. It goes to a completely different, I guess, frame, because this was all done in ClickTeam. But you see here, I go back. Now what? Takes dear old time. All right, it's back to 0. So everything that I set before, if I set it to 4720 and I took the 9 seconds to adjust every one of the characters I didn't want to 0, all of it would be gone just because I went to the settings button. And sometimes you can accidentally hit a button because the UI is pretty crowded here, and understandably so. It's something I don't like about the original game, but DeeDee Repel, I really wish you didn't even have to use a DeeDee Repel on the challenges. I know that's a separate gripe, but you go to the special and then challenges and all that. We'll get to this screen later. But I mean, if you have a preset that you want to use, so there's pay attention 1, why do I have to use a DeeDee Repel if I don't want DeeDee to ruin everything, maybe like 1 in every 3 times? It's just kind of annoying. DeeDee should not affect preset things. I mean, it's not really beating the same mode if you have DeeDee interfere like that, and oftentimes it just messes stuff up. All right, let's go to the challenges screen. So the challenges screen here. So there are 16 challenges total. I don't know why it's not a 4x4. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you could have options here for you need a cancel button that exits out. With this one right here, like, you could put the cancel button toward the bottom or whatever, but you have a whole side that you could work with that isn't gonna select the go or cancel. You shouldn't be able to select the go or the cancel button from here when this frame is up. So there could be a different mode that you have, like if this selection menu is up, then don't allow go. One thing you can do is you can click off of the challenges, and then it kills the settings. It's really annoying. Plus, if I'm on pay attention to, and I go back to the menu, I actually have to choose a different challenge. Like I'm clicking on pay attention to, and I can't choose it because it's already selected. Supposedly, you see it's not even active in the background. But since this was already selected right here, going to the menu and then selecting it again is not an option. You have to choose a different one before getting out of this menu. So there's no cancel button out of this menu. I guess like maybe what they want you to do is just click cancel that way, but then you're out of the challenges menu again. So it's not a friendly UI. And then when I went back, it's like, hey, you're still on the select challenge menu. It's not what I want. So that's one thing with this menu, that you have a lot of space you could work with, and you have 16 challenges that aren't going to change. I mean, those were the settings in Ultimate Custom Night PC. So I mean, I would guess that a 4x4 would make more sense. And then you have all sorts of room either here at the bottom or here on the side that you could use for like a cancel or load best score or whatever. No, the load best score doesn't make any sense with these, but I don't know. You just have space. You get real estate elsewhere. It's free real estate. But yeah, that's about it for that one. What else? Oh yeah. One other thing is you probably should have, if something is already selected, have like a rectangle around it, or like some flashing, like, yeah, you have this one selected, or maybe an arrow or something, like, hey, this is the one you have selected. But if you also select the one that you're already on, it should just refresh the one that you're on and then exit the menu. Like, you click the button. I don't know why having this already selected means that you have to choose something else, or you can't exit the menu. And if you exit the menu with this cancel, then you exit challenges altogether. So that's a challenges menu. Office menu is fine. I mean, that one's simple. That one looks fine. Power-ups, same thing. That one's pretty simple. Description, again, just reiterating, make sure it doesn't overlap. That's one thing that would help a lot. If you go to the actual game now, and let me actually use a DeeDee repel because I don't want DeeDee distracting all of this, all right? One other thing, that golden Freddy loading screen is not transparent, so I don't know if that's what you all wanted, but it's just like a black background, and then all that. So it looks a little weird when it's fading in. It looks a little cheap, really. So it fades in, and it's like this like just rectangle. It could have some alpha channel in there, and then it would look a lot cleaner, I think. What else? I wish there were a way to go back to this screen. I know that it's the same functionality as Ultimate Custom Night on PC, to where you load it the first time, and then you can't revisit until you reload the game. It's a lot more annoying to load this up on a phone, so you gotta go back, and I don't know, I guess you could put it on your home screen, maybe that. Another thing, I wish like either this would animate in game, or that it didn't look like either a microphone or an ice cream cone with a waffle cone or something. But all right, let me get to that in a little bit. All right, so this right here, I always refer to this as the mid vent, but I mean, it makes sense. It's a top vent, so we can vibe with that. I'm still gonna call it a mid vent though. And then what else? All right, yeah, desk fan. Okay, so let's go to the main interface. All right, so here we have the main game screen, and I have 4.5 minutes without DeeDee. This is lovely. So, what I want to get across here, really, I kind of wish that this right here, where a square button had all this area that you could click on the flashlight. You also need to move it down a little bit, because whenever Scrap Baby is around, the shock button is like here, and then anytime that you're trying to click on the flashlight, just from a little bit of a distance, you have so much leniency. You can fat finger it so easily, and then you shock, and that's 1% every time that happens. All right. One thing that's a little frustrating too is the icon to go back to the menu is now gone since the ventilation has let up. So let's reset ventilation. All right, and let's use a power AC. Let's cool this mess down quite a bit so I don't have a short cycle here. But these buttons up top, I kind of wish that they were a little bit bigger. I mean, they are so tiny compared to my hand. And just a little bit of space between it, but make the buttons bigger. And also on the camera page here, if you go here, you notice that all of them are on the side. Like this is the old thing. If you click here, you can adjust it, but it's just very odd because you have two different UIs and you got nothing up here that's really interfering. So I don't know why those aren't up there. That would be cool for linearity. Plus, you notice here, these are great. I need that. I need that in the office because there's no way to get over to Afton unless you're already on that side. Plus, Ballora, you can't hear what side Ballora is coming from at this point, or maybe my ears just aren't fine-tuned for that sound effect. But it seems like that is not refined. But this right here should be on the office screen, and it's not. So if you go back here, you notice here, like you have to scroll all the way across the office to shut this vent, and it's troublesome because if you want to, let's just do this power gen and fan. If you want to shut the door in after and you're over here, like your mask is down or whatever, then yeah, you're gonna have trouble getting over there in time. So it's a little problematic with that. The buttons should be the same for here and the buttons either here. I actually would probably move them up a little bit because you still have the door to worry about here. So I don't know, like somewhere around here, like under the timer. So you'd have that, and then if you go to the camera, it would take the place of this UI right here, basically. That might be nice, but have them in the same spot so you know where to go every time. Because otherwise it's gonna hurt the experience of, you know, the top end where you're trying to beat 50/20. So for the actual UI here underneath, I actually would, I'm trying to click that fan. There you go. I would make it look kind of like this. So make it a little bit lower. So let's redo that. More like this, and then have like a, you know, flash, and then you extend these out a little more, just so, you know, even more, so you have more leniency there. I mean, you got a lot of space to work with on there, and it's just not being used. I just don't know why you wouldn't fill that in a little bit, because this area right here just doesn't do anything, and this area here, like at least on this side, you have like this small space here where you can, you know, hit that vent or whatever. But yeah, I would just extend it a little bit more, maybe not all that way, but just a little bit more, and leave some space for that flashlight. So maybe like this would be more ideal, and then widen that and widen this. I wish there were a mode where I could just, you know, like not have to worry about power. Be kind of cool. Like on the cheats menu, you could put like a no ventilation reset mode or something like that, just so I could draw through this. But those are some of the main things. The big issues, Ballora and Afton right now, I really think those could be improved quite a bit. Because right now you just gotta, I don't know, you just gotta deal with it. That you're not gonna be able to get 50/20 with the way it is right now. But I think putting the buttons in the office and in the same spot between the camera and the office would be a huge plus. Another thing, let's go. I'm not even going to use a DeeDee repel on this one, but if you, like, the tricky part is I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here necessarily, but it's tough when you're on a mobile device and your buttons are up top, because you have to kind of make sure your hand doesn't block all this area right here. So I don't know, it's tricky. Like, you can keep those buttons up there, but know that like I'm gonna have to arch my hand and kind of like rack my wrist to get to those buttons. They also are extremely small on my phone. So it's just part of the mobile territory, I guess. One thing, I wish that if you clicked the flashlight button, it didn't go either this way or this way, because sometimes you click on the flashlight and then, you know, it scrolls to the other way, and then you can't access this door. Also, clicking Freddy's nose is pretty problematic, because like you click and you can get every now and then you can get that, but it's over here. I don't know. There you go. It's tricky to click Freddy's nose. I know that's a minor thing, but it's pretty hallmark for the series, so we got to get that right. Yeah. Anyway, now that you're mad, what else? I mean, those are the big things. Just space utilization, plus the if you have a mute button here, so MB, or you have like a mute button here, then it's like, oh, okay, well I want to mute call, right? Mute call. So you click it, or click it here, and then there's also the the shock button, and then there's the flashlight, and then since you clicked here. Or you clicked over here, it's going to scroll this way, and Nightmare BB is sitting over here, slouched over, and he's mad because, oh, the flashlight's now on because you clicked mute call, and now you get jump scared because, I mean, Nightmare BB, he jump scares you if you look at him wrong, if you flash him with that light, and he's slouched over. Okay, so the supersession of buttons. Like if you click this, you shouldn't have something else that triggers. You click the camera, you shouldn't have something else that triggers. It could be a problem. Like also Rockstar Foxy, the +1 power and the vent overlap. So if you click here, then you also shut the vent, and then you might not know. Oh, hey, I actually, in addition to 1% power, now I have greater power usage because I clicked on the same thing that I didn't really want to click on. Anyway, yeah, so some things should be in the background of things that are clicked. The same thing with L chip or L cheap. So you click on skip ad or whatever, and then say the flashlight is right under it or whatever, or something else is under it. I can't think of an exact example on that one, but another thing with Old Man Consequences, I really wish this were more of like a range on this, because the thing lags out so much, even on the Note 9, that sometimes it's like, oh, the fish is over here, and then next thing you know, it's like over here, and then it's over here, and it's like, well, I didn't really get much of a shot to click on anything fairly. So in terms of balance, everything is held together by high tension strings. There's a lot of stuff going on, so I do appreciate the work. I think that this could be tweaked a little bit so that 5020 would be reasonable, or I should say as reasonable as possible, because you still have Toy Freddy, you still have Foxy. So anyway, I hope these are taken constructively, these UI suggestions, and I don't know if anyone is ever going to watch this who has any say in the matter. But at the same time, if this ever helps out with the UI, I really think this could help with the ease of use. I know that lag is always going to be an issue with a mobile port, and I really think the standard here, the gold standard, would be a fair shot at beating 5020. Like, being able to do that would be really, really cool. As it is right now, I mean, especially Ballora and Afton, you're going to have buttons in the office. I mean, I've given recommendations on that, but I can't hear which side Ballora is coming from, but you can't get over to the right to hit Afton at 20 either. So those things need to be adjusted. You need to have buttons in the office to replace the easy key access. It'd be nice to have an OTG device, so an on the go. So you plug that in, so you can plug in a keyboard, and you have your keyboard controls. That would be cool too, but I know not everyone has that luxury. So it'd probably be better to have something on the screen, because I know, you're not going to have that capability when you port it to console. All right, I'm quite sure. Maybe you can, but I wouldn't expect that to be the typical measure done on this. Another thing, in the PC game, if you have Nightmare on 20, and then you put your mouse in the upper left corner, basically at 0, 0, then there's an image off the screen. I believe, like, it's close enough to the mouse that it starts to fade in Nightmare off the screen. Like, you can't even see it, it's off the screen. But then you get jump scared, and you can get jump scared in 0.8 seconds. Pretty cool. It's not how it's supposed to work. All right, another thing is if you death coin Toy Freddy, and then you see the game over screen, or I should say, let's do that again. If you get a game over screen from Toy Freddy when he's playing Mr. Hugs, and then you death coin him, what happens? Well, say you have another animatronic like Mangle. Mangle's in your office, you have camera up to trigger a Mangle jump scare. Who actually jump scares you? It's Toy Freddy. So you got Toy Freddy Undead. But you compare that with other characters who are death coined, and you get, for example, Marionette. Marionette, you hear Pop Goes the Weasel. Uh-oh. Hit Puppet with the death coin. What happens? Oh, no attack, ever. That's the way it should be. So, with Toy Freddy, that's another thing from the original game that I really wish were handled. And I know Scott, after we beat 5020, he was like, yeah, I like the game the way it is. Remember that Daco interview? The one some of us worked feverishly for to get that end. Yeah, I just wish some of these things were fixed. Some of these things on the mobile game, of course, need to be fixed. Buttons on the office screen, all in one location. Buttons up top for your navigation. Bigger buttons, better flashlight that also takes input instead of lets it go through to the shock button and the mute call button or whatever. So one click shouldn't take care of like 4 things at once. Not in all cases. Maybe in some cases, yeah, but I don't know. I would lower the flashlight button, widen these a little bit, and have this buttons but a little bit bigger, and then you have your doors or whatever, your fan. Pretty cool. Anyway, a consistent UI throughout would help the experience a whole lot, and I know mobile it's going to be more limited, but anyway, I hope that helps. Hope that's interesting to some of y'all. These are things I think about quite a bit and how to optimize stuff, but it also goes out to software engineering and UI design. So, not the biggest UI guy. I don't like designing buttons, but I can tell you what would make sense intuitively. So, anyway, if you have any suggestions as well, put them in the comments. If anyone from Click Team sees this, or Scott, I think it's a cool effort to port Ultimate Custom Night to a different platform, but I would love to see this optimized even to the point of having people beat 5020 mode without that silly infinite power and infinite coin mode. I have both good and bad memories with this game. Good in the destroying of a mode that people were saying was impossible. Piecing together every little piece of that strategy and then getting something workable. That was pretty cool. People are still using my spreadsheet for strategy tips, so I'm really glad I made that. I still plan to go back to Ultimate Custom Night, at least on PC, to reset my score and then get the winning music. I know you all know that I can do that with a decent amount more than 0% power remaining. I just have to do it. And I'll do that on my own timeline. I gotta do it, So I'm hoping 5020 mobile could be made better, both in optimizations to the UI and in fixes for the current Ballora and Afton issues. I think those would be fixable by adding the door buttons to the main office UI in the same place as the door buttons in the camera mode. I think just making the UI standardized and the same location for every screen on that would be a big help. If it never gets optimized or fixed, then bummer and life goes on, but I'd say that'd be a shame. I mean, that'd be just another bad memory to all of this, and I'd like to see Ultimate Custom Night fly. It still holds a special place in my heart despite all the negative comments I got for taking a break to work, eat, run, and sleep, and ending up not finishing the mode first. I mean, come on, I work a full-time job, and I put together this spreadsheet, I was helping people through this, I put so much work into that, and we still got the Scott interview. I don't know, I still am a little bit sore about that, but putting those memories behind, and knowing that I had more goals than just, hey, let me complete this mode, I hope more good memories can come about in the future. So anyway, everyone, thanks for watching. I hope you gained something from this, and again, peace, God bless you, have a great day! Yeah!